I am a woman.
That's interesting.
I'm actually a graphic designer. And I have no idea how it happened. My dad loves this stuff.
Right.
And he wanted to bring it to Canada. Everybody doesn't need to understand you. You just need to understand yourself. Oh my God, strawberries in the winter? Like, what is this magical place? Do you know when I launch my business? I think that's it. Maybe we can actually change the world.
My name is Abimbola Akinnuoye, and you're welcome to another exciting episode of Leading Lady Talks. We are in conversations with women who are doing extraordinary stuff, telling their stories of resilience, real, authentic stories of how they've been able to overcome challenges that life has brought across their way. Today, my guest is a business owner, a mom, a fighter, and someone who has her products in Whole Foods. I'm sure you know that's a big deal. So at the end of this episode, you would learn how Nina has been able to navigate everything that life has brought across her way, and of course is still thriving today. So without much ado, please welcome with me to the episode and to studio, Nina. You're welcome.
Thank you very much, Abby.
How are you doing today?
I'm great. I'm happy to be here.
Of course. Thank you so much for joining us. I mean, this was meant to be, I guess.
I think so.
We tried to make it work and then we were just rescheduling, and, I'm happy that you're here today finally.
Yeah, me too.
Wow. So I know you, and I know there are quite a number of people that are watching from around the world that do not know who you are. Mm-hmm. So you want to let us know who you are, what you do?
Well, my name is Nina Obrecht, and I am a woman that has been through a whole lot, and I'm still here. So I think at its core, like, who I am is somebody who really values high integrity and believes in doing in what you believe. So, like, your words, your actions, and your thoughts are all lined up, and one step at a time, if everybody just did their part, then maybe we can actually change the world.
Love it. So, of course, we're sitting down with somebody who has had like different life experiences, but I wanted us to go back to the beginning. Mm-hmm. So think about like 12-year-old Nina. If you had her sitting across to you, just the same we were having this interview right now, what would you be telling her?
Everybody doesn't need to understand you. You just need to understand yourself.
That's interesting. So, I mean, for those that are watching, do you want to dive deep into like what that looks like, what that sounds like? Is it like how you show up in the world or why you do the things you do?
Yeah, like it's kind of goes, it's basically like, it's like looking at the world through this lens of everybody's living their own narrative. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Like even though we're having this experience right now and it's the same, we're actually having completely different experiences based on our personal life experience.
Yeah.
So people don't always see you the way that, you see yourself, or the way you want to be seen. And that's okay, because everybody has their own story. Everybody has their own journey. So I think that's something that I learned somewhat recently, that at the end of the day, like, as long as you know who you are and you do what you think you should do and what you're doing has a positive impact on the world, nobody has to understand you.
Like it. I love that. As adults, I know we always find you want to be liked, you want to be loved, you want to feel like you're part of something. So I think that's really great advice, to actually take life as you know it and don't care about what other people think. So, yeah. I mean, now you have this very, you do this business called Riciniol, where you actually have patented like castor oil creams and skincare. How did you get into skincare and what brought about the love for skincare?
I have the most temperamental skin of all people that have skin. Like the slightest bit of perfume, the slightest bit of anything, and I just like poof, and it's just like little red dry spots all over me.
Right.
So I've actually used this product my whole life. The woman that created it studied with my parents in university in the 80s. And I'm actually a graphic designer by trade. Like I did a lot of branding, web, logos, like all the campaigns. And then when my kid was born, my first was born, and I was 32, I looked at myself and I was like, when I'm 40, I want to launch a product-based business, and I want to apply everything that I learned so far in design towards something that I can build, like from the ground up.
Right.
Do you know when I launched my business?
2020?
On my 40th birthday.
Wow.
And I have no idea how it happened. It was just like serendipity. It landed in my lap. I launched it, and it just so happened to be on my actual 40th birthday. And I, like, when I thought back to it, I thought it was the craziest thing. Because I remember saying that the day my kid was born. It was because people would take my work and they would change it. You know, you would deliver it and they would change it. And it's like they butcher your little art project. And then,
Right.
and I'm like, I need
Wow.
to apply this to something else, something no one else can touch.
Wow, that's amazing. So since you started, and I know you have like some of the products with you.
I did bring them.
Since you started this product, of course, we'll get into like business and everything else that you've done. But like before the entrepreneur title, who is Nina, or who was Nina as a mom, a wife, or as a person in the world? How did you, or what kind of experiences did you have, of course, leading up to your 40th birthday? How were you as a wife, as a person that was showing up in the world?
The other day, my kid like looked at me and she's like, "You take everything so seriously." And I'm like, "Yeah, because it's serious."
Right.
So I think I've always kind of been kind of like that. Like when I care a lot, and I
Right.
care deeply, and it kind of applies to everything, like from work to like home to cooking to like what my kids eat. Like kind of, I think that part of me didn't get changed too much. I think it's still kind of the same.
Yeah. Okay, so what was your earliest memories of like skincare or beauty growing up?
I don't have an earliest memory of skincare per se. Oh, actually, I do. I'm going to give a little shout out right now to a company called Pure and Simple, because I had the craziest rosacea. And I went to the store on King Street West. They have a few locations around Toronto. But they gave me this creamy cleanser. I did have a skincare. And they gave me this creamy cleanser. And when I would wash my face, like it didn't foam up. And so I was like, I've never heard of this before. And it like completely changed my skin. So that was like a first kind of moment where I was like, wait a minute, you don't need to have like soap suds and like all this crazy stripping stuff on your face. You can have like a cream cleanser that barely feels like it washes your skin. And then that was like the first time where I had like a life-changing skincare moment. I still use that product today, 20 years later.
Wow, that's some consistency.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I feel like with skincare, if you find what works for you, just stick to it.
Yeah.
Right? But I like to explore skincare because, like, I like to try different things. I like to test new products. So, yeah, we're different in that aspect. So, when you think about, like, the beauty industry right now, like when it comes to like skincare, natural skincare, what do you think is one of the things that you find that was different, like when you first started, like your love for skincare? I know you recently launched your business, not like recently, but like you started in 2020. But leading up to that, what were the findings that made you say, you know what, I want to go in this direction? I want to do natural skincare. What inspired you to do that?
My dad, which sounds weird, but it wasn't like I had this like epiphany and I was going to start a skincare brand. I just kind of, my dad loves this stuff.
Right.
And he wanted to bring it to Canada, but he didn't have the capacity to do so. So he wanted my brother to do it. My brother's like, I don't want to do skincare. And I was like, I'll do it.
I love that.
And here we are. But do you know that movie, My Big Fat Greek Wedding?
No, I don't think I've seen that.
The dad in there is always spraying everything with Windex. No matter what's wrong, he's like, put some Windex on it. And my dad was like this with this product. I'm like, I got a bite. He's like, put some Riciniol on it. I'm like, I got a scratch, put Riciniol on it. I got this. He's like, put Riciniol on it. It's like, shut up. Like, no. And now I'm that person. Like when people call me, like, oh, I have a cold. I'm like, oh, just put my product on it. Oh, my kid has a rash. I just put my product on.
It works for everything.
It's very multi-purpose.
Right. That's amazing. So I was going to ask you, since you started as an entrepreneur, like what kind of challenges have you faced? You know, I know that, of course, you're like 5 years in business now.
Mm-hmm.
And congratulations on getting into Whole Foods.
Thank you.
That's a big, big win. But what kind of challenges have you faced? Because I know the entrepreneurs watching us, of course, from around the world now, that could probably relate to like your journey or even learn something from it. How has that journey been for you as an individual?
Well, I mean, I think the challenges constantly change, right? And I don't think they'll ever go away. I think that's part of the journey, is that you're constantly being challenged to get to the next level of where you are. So the problems constantly evolve. And then you have to evolve to face those problems, and then you'll be handed a new set of problems. But everything from, you know, importing the product and registering it with Health Canada and doing the pricing. And I didn't know anything when I started. Now, when I meet someone, I'm like, let me give you the spreadsheet. Do this right from the get-go.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Right.
And then things like sanctions and tariffs and shipping. Like, shipping has quadrupled since I started my company.
Mm-hmm.
The costs are constantly going up. I managed to get into Whole Foods, which is incredible. And now, and into all these other retailers like Nature's Emporium, I'm in Ambrosia, and we're on will.ca, and just got into Healthy Planet, at least online to start, and like all these things. But now you have to be like, wait a minute, but nobody knows about my brand.
Mm-hmm.
So so I've gotten into retail, but now how do I tell everybody on the planet that this brand exists and it's all these stores?
Yeah.
So it's like the problems keep evolving, and you have to be really agile. Like you have to constantly be, you know,
Adaptive.
Adaptive and like flexible and willing to learn, because it's nonstop. Like the evolution doesn't stop. And I think when you stop evolving is when you stop growing.
Yeah. Yeah. I think one of the greatest lessons for business owners or in business would be the ability to pivot when you need to. Because like
100%.
sometimes, you know, you start out this way, but then business takes you this way. And then you have to find a way around like doing something else, or, you know, adding something else to, you know, getting your products to your customers.
Totally. Like I discovered that naturopaths are actually like my best vehicle right now, because they will buy it and they won't just tell the customer about it. They'll be like, take this and this is how you use it. So the whole education piece is solved for me from the get-go.
Right.
So it's like, it's interesting. Yeah, it's constantly evolving and changing. And I think also with like even AI and social media and all that progress.
Yeah. I also feel like now that there's, of course, a lot of social media, I feel like AI can also help you, of course, find resources, ways to get your product in front of the right clients.
Oh, totally.
Yeah, so I think that every business owner needs to tap into like the power and the technology, you know, getting to be aligned with like your goals for the business. So I want to take us back to like, what's your story like from the beginning? I know we were talking earlier and you had mentioned that you came here when you were 11.
I did.
Right? Did you have like any like an immigrant experience, or, you know, adaptability in a new environment and things like that? Do you have like recall any memories of that? How was that for you?
I remember moving. Like we actually moved here on Christmas Eve.
Oh.
In 1991. And I remember like showing up and my dad got sponsored by the University of Waterloo. And so he came for 3 months and then we never left. But we showed up and there were all these like Hot Wheels and like ginger ale and bananas and strawberries. And I was like, oh my God, strawberries in the winter? Like, what is this magical place? Like, it was like I remember that so vividly. But like, it was hard, like at first, like it was hard. And my dad had to work a lot. And like, I have 4 siblings and like, so, but my parents did a really nice job of us not really like feeling the suffering of it. You know what I mean? Like, we never felt like we were broke. We never felt like we were struggling, but I'm sure we were when I think about it as an adult. There's no way it could have been easy, right? And being so far away from home and all that kind of stuff.
Everything that they know as well. So I guess that you can take some lessons from your journey that you've applied to your life in, like, of course, in business and of course in your life as an individual.
Yeah, our childhood shapes us, right? Like, that's why it's so important to model the behavior that you want, like, to see around you, like, especially with kids.
How many kids do you have?
2. 13 and almost 10.
Okay, so you talked about getting into like all these retail stores, Whole Foods, Healthy Planet now. Congratulations on that. That's
Thank
no
you.
small feat. But how does that feel for you, and how were you able to navigate or get yourself to get into those stores?
I got a really good broker
who
believed in me and helped me like a tremendous amount. So I went through a divorce, and right after I went through a divorce, I really put my head down, and that's when like I quit my job, my full-time job, and I started doing this full-time. So we rebranded the company, and we went and we changed a couple of the product names, and then I had this big plan to go to CHFA, which is the Canadian Health Food Association conference in Vancouver. So we printed all the stuff, the boxes, the products, like all the things. And I had a suitcase full of stuff. I got this super cheap Airbnb in Vancouver, and I booked my flight and just like a backpack and a suitcase full of product. And I showed up to this conference, and I just would have like samples and things, and I would just stop people in their tracks and I'd be like, this is my product, you got to try it. And people would, take it. People are nice. And then all of a sudden I see this lady with a sign that says Whole Foods on it, like the little badge, it says Whole Foods. And so she says to me now, she's like, sit down, you look dehydrated. So I sat down, and she went and she got me some water, and then we started talking about the product, and then it turns out she had like a nephew that had eczema, so I gave her some stuff, and then I gave her the full box, and she's like, I'm going to give it to the buyer. But you have to go get into Purity. And Purity Life is like a really large distributor in Canada of natural health products. And so I went to the Purity desk, and I stood there, and I asked them to take this promo box, specific, like we designed this box specifically for the show. And the lady's like, no, I'm not going to take it. Go online and apply. And then I would pursue her with a bit more information. Be like, do you want to take my box now? She's like, no, go away. And then I would tell her a little bit more. Will you take my box? And she's like, no, you have to go online and apply. And then finally, they looked at me and said something like, you're probably not even GS1 verified. And I'm like, yes, I am. I'm GS1 registered and verified. And then one of the guys that was standing beside her, and I guess he was listening to me not leave, he's like, just take her box.
I love that.
So they took my box, and I went through some chats, and then I got introduced to my broker, and then I signed with Purity, and I got the broker, and the broker was absolutely indispensable with getting me into all the retail.
That's amazing. I really like the fact that you didn't take no for an answer, and then you kept like, you need to take my box.
Just take my box. Like, look how beautiful it is. Like, look at it. Like, take the box.
It's really pretty.
She's like, no, I'm not taking it. I'm not going to take it. But they took it.
That's awesome. So, I mean, I know that, of course, it's easier said than done. Like, oh, yeah, now you said you didn't say no. Because a lot of times when people say no to us, as like business owners, as founders, it could be very discouraging.
I know.
And we are like, you know what, I'm just going to take I'm going to take a break, or, I'm just going to give myself some time. But how do you encourage yourself most times when you actually feel like, you know what, I'm done, or I'm tired, or this is not working as I thought it would? Because I'm sure there are days like that, right?
All the time. Those days are very frequent. Nothing works the way you want it to, but it works the way it's supposed to, I think.
Yeah.
And I do take time. But when I take time, for example, now I have a wall, and it has Monday, one big task, Tuesday, one big task, Wednesday, one big task. But because I've been going nonstop this year, and it got hard. So now I have one task that I have to do per day. And then anything else I do is extra. And then I sleep more, I exercise more, I cook a little more, I eat more. But I do take time. But my tolerance for no is also very high. It's almost shocking. My tolerance for rejection is very high.
So what has surprised you most about your resilience as a person?
Surprised me about my resilience? That I care less and less every day. I do. I don't know what it is. But once you notice, it's back to the very first thing that I said. Once you just look at the world through the lens of everybody's living their own little reality, and a lot of it has not, a lot of the time it has nothing to do with you, right? How they perceive is based on what they had been through, their childhood, where they grew up, who they hung out with, who supported them or didn't support them, right? It all so that affects the way they view things. So they don't necessarily need to understand you. And it all kind of comes back to that. It's everybody has their own journey. And if you accept people for who they are, it's a lot easier.
Yeah. Well, so where do you see your business in the next 5 years?
Well, in the next 5 years, I'm definitely going to move production here. So that's I think key number one. And for now, we're going to just see how many different awards that we can win. So I'm starting to enter a few of the competitions, and then obviously become more of a household name. Because right now I do have a little, what do you call it? A little, not fan club, but the people who love it, really love it. And the product works. It's a really, really good product. So I guess I just want to make it more known. So, and obviously to have a facility here in Canada.
Okay. Well, so let's play some fun games. I'm going to ask you a few questions.
All right.
And then let's have your answers. How would you, if Riciniol was a woman, how would you describe her personality?
She's a nurturer. She's definitely a nurturer. She's someone that protects and heals.
Nice. Okay. So, what skincare hack do you swear by?
What skincare? What, sorry?
What skincare hack do you swear by?
Hack? I think simple is best, but I also like layers.
Okay.
Lots of layers, but simple layers.
Okay. Awesome. So what's your if you could use one Riciniol product forever, which one would that be?
Oh, the essential, because it does everything.
Okay. So what's your skincare routine? Describe your skincare routine in 3 words.
Layers, sunscreen, Riciniol.
Awesome. So what skincare habit is it that you indulge in that you would never give up?
I'm always coming back to my layers. I like to have a thing. I like my masks. They're different masks. I have charcoal masks. I have sheet masks. I have, cucumber masks. But I need my cleanser, my toner. Sometimes I have some sort of serum. Then I use Riciniol, and then I use a day cream. So I like my routine. What was the question?
What a skincare habit you would never give up?
Masks.
Ah, okay, love it. Okay, so now we have your products, and then we have your of course you're going through life and everything. But I just wanted to understand from your perspective, what your legacy would look like as an individual. Let's think 25, 30 years from now. What would that look like to you? how do you hope that the world will remember you, remember your business, your mark, and all that?
Well, I think it's my kids, right? As long as my kids grow up to be like good people that are trying to change the world for the better, I think that's my legacy. I mean, nobody's going to remember me and my business in long enough, right? And like, but maybe it's a little bit of it is like trying to teach again back to the kids, but that the world is not as artificial as it seems to be. Like that we have these like bodies that can do crazy things, you know, like heal themselves and like pretty resilient. So the world is not as artificial as it seems, especially with AI and all the filters and all the facades that we see around the world today. That's not necessary.
That's amazing. So I wanted to talk about like having an international product line, right? What do you think is one of the greatest misconceptions that people have about like running a skincare line, especially like you that you do internationally? What's one of the greatest misconceptions you think people have that you want to correct today?
I don't know if this is a misconception about necessarily the skincare aspect of it, but I think people don't understand how much work it is. Like, I really don't think I didn't understand how much work it was. Right. And I'm realizing now that even the amount of work I think it is, it's actually more work than I think it is. And because it constantly changes. So I think there's a lot of like that it must be nice. Not realizing how much darkness and self-doubt and like just like how many obstacles you have to constantly overcome and how they constantly change and how so many things are out of your control, like, you know, tariffs and like stock market and like everything, right? Like,
right. And you know, I was gonna ask you like how has that been, of course, with all the sanctions like from the US and everything that's happening around the world? What impact has that had like on your business? And of course, I'm sure the entrepreneurs watching us now, what can you say to encourage somebody or even like just provide some sort of support? Because
yeah,
of course we are all going through it, right? But what would that be? What word of encouragement be?
just keep going. Keep going. Like when we first got the tariffs on the US and I ship from Amazon. So I was trying to ship my product to Amazon, or I was trying even to ship it to Clean Beauty Awards, like we entered the Clean Beauty Awards. And I would send 3 parcels and they returned them to me. Like, so something was wrong with the tariff code. Then I sent parcels again. And then the second time I sent the parcel, I only sent 1. And then it was returned to me because it didn't clear customs fast enough, even though everything was done correctly. So like, why do I have to lose the money on that? For a long time, if you want to send to Canada Post, like to send to Canada, to Amazon in the States, I had to send by Canada Post, but I have more than one type of product in the box. But their app, where you have to pay the duties, you can only add 1 product. So the app didn't work. Nobody knew how to use the app. UPS wasn't working because all of their products were returned. So just now I was able to finally send product to the States, but I was sold out for 2 months. Like not totally sold out, but like almost 2 months. So now finally some of it is restocked, but I also had to jack my price by $4 because that's how much it costs me to send the product.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that kind of impact on the business, like how has that like what steps would you encourage like maybe like a new entrepreneur or somebody who's just new into exports? What kind of encouragement or how did you personally navigate that as a business owner?
Lots of tears.
I know, right?
You just have to keep going. Like you have to call and you have to sit on the phone, or you have to find people that know and ask them questions, because it's like an evolving thing. It's constantly changing. Like the rules are changing, the regulations are changing, especially when you're dealing internationally.
Right.
So you just don't give up. Just keep working on it.
Wow. So what's one of your greatest lessons from being a business owner? One of your greatest life lessons that business has taught you?
I think that's it. I think it's like, just keep going. It's not personal. Everybody's in their own little mind.
Okay.
Don't give up.
All
Keep
right.
going.
Okay, so of course, as we're coming to the close of the conversation, I wanted to hear from you, like, now that you have your business going on, and of course it comes with its daily challenges. I know you have spoken about how some of your challenges have, like, kind of like given you the strength that you now have. Do you want to dive deep into how people are able to navigate showing up every day, even when it looks like, when it feels like everything is
Falling
apart, but the strength and the grace to show up, as a business owner, as a mom, as a person in the world? How are you able to consistently do that?
We're human and we're women, and women are built different than men. Like, I don't know. I'm not linear at all. Like most guys I know, they're like, look, step 1, step 2, step 3, steps towards. Do step 1, do step. When I look at a problem, it's never like that. I see like 500 problems at the same time. And then one thing that I think is important is that not every day you don't have the same amount of energy, the same amount of inspiration. And so if on a certain day you have only 20% to give, and you give the full 20%, you gave 100% of that day.
Yeah.
And if you need the rest, you need the rest. That's your body telling you you need the rest. And there's this one quote I read once that really changed my frame of thinking. And it was something like, I don't remember who it was by or exactly how it goes, but it's something like, hope and fear both require you to believe in something that hasn't happened. So choose your energy wisely. Use your energy wisely. Because both, if you think about it, both hope and fear
Yeah.
require you to believe something that didn't happen.
Or is about to happen.
Yeah.
It's one of the two.
So, like, it hasn't happened. So choose where you put your energy. Like, there's no point being
that's so
afraid.
good.
Yeah, I don't remember who said it, but it changed my frame of thinking.
Yeah. Well, in coming to the conversation, in bringing the conversation to a close, we wanted to play like some of the games that we usually would play. So if your life had a scent, what would it be called?
Unscented.
I love that. So what's the funniest thing that has ever happened to you, like in your product testing, in setting up your business, in testing like your samples? What's the funniest thing that has happened?
Funniest? I'm not funny. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
I can't think of it.
Okay,
Let me park that in the back of my mind and see if something comes.
Sure. So let's do this. If you could ask 3 women to try Riciniol,
Yeah.
who are your top 3 women?
Women who have sensitive skin. Women who love castor oil but hate the mess. And mothers of all ages and sizes and races and places and places. Because this stuff is unbelievably good for children because it heals everything under the sun. It's food grade. You can use it anywhere on the body. You don't have to worry about any sort of reactions. You don't have to worry about like time constraints, like you can only use this for 2 weeks. For women, it's incredibly emollient. It's moisturizing. And then people who love castor oil but hate how messy it is, this stuff absorbs fully into your skin. It doesn't leave a sticky residue. It does not require packs, and you need way less of it than you would the traditional stuff.
Awesome. So for those that might be wondering where to find you, let us know where we can find you. Your website, Instagram, everything.
You can find us on the website, on Instagram. It's all Riciniol. So it's RICINIOL. On Instagram, on TikTok, on Facebook. The website is riciniol.com. We're available at Whole Foods, Nature's Emporium, Ambrosia, the Big Carrot, all over the place, to be honest. I don't even know all the stores, but it's also on Amazon. And on our website, we made a special coupon code that people can use. I think we made it LLC, Leading Ladies Connect. So If they would like a discount on our website, we have a special coupon code just for your listeners.
Okay, sure. We'll put that in the show notes and also probably display it on the screen. Wow, Nina, thank you so much for sharing so
Thanks, Abby.
honestly, powerfully, and your journey, of course, I'm sure inspires somebody who has probably watched or listened to us all throughout this episode. Well, as you heard, Riciniol is not just skincare, it's a love letter to yourself. Get one for yourself, buy for your girlfriends, your mom, your sister, and anyone else. With that, I wanted to say thank you so much to everyone who has remained with us till the end of the episode. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Listen to us on Spotify, Amazon Music, and everywhere else that you are able to catch your podcast or streaming platforms that you listen to daily. Till next time, I wanted to say thank you so much for your support and stay well. Remember, your best days are ahead of you. Goodbye for now. Bye.